It's like a dream of mine to completely blow out and like have to restructure my knee.
We've communicated and said, you know what? Lion tastes good. Let's go get some more lion.
Cindy! The TV's leaking!
McLovin?
Yeah. Today is Thomas Cup's birthday, and this is Project X. Yo.
Wow, that was a song. I enjoyed that. Couldn't tell you what it's called. Actually, I could. No, it's gone now. I wouldn't have been able to pronounce it regardless. And that's on me. Let me get my notes set up here. You're listening to Birdcore. I'm your host, Sam Bird. As always, I have not changed. This is not an alias. This is me. It's me here. I'm here. And as always, I'm joined by my good old producer, Kit. Kit, how are you?
Absolutely exhausted.
Can you elaborate?
We decided at like 12:45 a.m. that we were going to wake up at 6 a.m. to go to the gym right away and get all of our hard work done and be responsible human beings.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what we did. And oddly enough, at the gym today, we ran into today's guest. And that was not scheduled. That was all by chance. We just happened to be at gym at like 7:30 in the morning at the same time. Today's guest, he is a student at Toronto Metropolitan University. He is a designer, a model, a DJ, an entrepreneur, photographer, director. My God, he does it all. And he's sitting right across from me, Parker Murchison. How are you?
Dude, what's going on?
Yeah, I pronounced your name right?
Yeah, you nailed it.
We had to practice before we went on.
Yeah, we had to do a few like rehearsals, but like, we're good now. It was a pretty like electric intro. I'm feeling really good.
Yeah, did I gas you up?
Yeah.
I got that all. Designer, model, DJ, entrepreneur, photographer, director.
I think you threw some things in. I don't even know if I
really?
do, but I like love it.
What would I have what here do you say is mostly thrown in?
I don't know. Maybe director, photographer. I guess I could do those things. So never mind. They were all good. I'm a product photographer, not a real photographer.
Yeah, okay. I was considering putting product photographer, but technically, whether you're taking pictures of products or feet or whatever it is, you're still a photographer.
Yeah, we don't judge.
No, we don't. You got your notes out.
Yeah,
you
just
got a
in
little
case I want
notebook?
to write something down.
Oh, really?
Just in case we're like having a long conversation, like I want to come back to that. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, I always do look back at these and I find like what's gonna be best for like clips, like for reels and stuff like that. So, but feel free to note it down.
Cool.
If you need to, just be like, Sam, what time is it? Like, what time of the recording was this at? Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure we're all on the same page.
Exactly. Yeah. So I know that some of you listening, you know Parker. Some of you listening, Liam in particular, and Leo, if you guys are listening, you live with Parker. Parker, I met you. I kind of knew who you were. I think, oddly enough, we were in BSM 100 together back on Zoom.
Whoa.
Yeah, because I recognized your face and your hair. I remember seeing your hair on Zoom, and I was like, that guy has a nice head of hair.
Dude, appreciate that. That's one of my defining features.
It's the curls, dude. And so I've kind of known who you are for a while, and then we met, we kind of officially met. I think it would have been last semester is when we kind of got closer because you were shooting a new campaign video for your brand, Secretaries.
Yeah.
Secretaries. How do you describe it? Because from what I understand, it's more than just a fashion like clothing brand to you,
right.
Correct?
Yeah. I think the reason. So I guess the easiest way to understand the brand is to understand kind of where it comes from. So I grew up in Halifax, and there's a big nightlife culture in Halifax, and it has been for decades. And my dad lived there, and he used to DJ at this club or this bar called Secretaries. So that's kind of where the name comes from. And the club is like done now; it's closed down, but the name kind of stuck with me. Just like hearing different stories and stuff. Now the building is like torn down; like there's nothing left. The club is rubble at this point.
Wow,
or
really?
I think it's an apartment complex. Real shame. But anyways, so that's kind of where that comes from. So a big part of the brand is like nightlife. So we do like a lot of events and parties. So it's kind of like a combination of like clothing and then parties and events that kind of give the clothing context is kind of how I best describe it. And it's like really fun, high quality, but like very silly clothes that are like fun to wear.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of yours have, I noticed there's a slogan usually that's attached with either your event or that particular drop. Like when it was the rodeo, it was I Survived the Secretaries rodeo.
Yes, yeah.
And that was very cool because that drop. Well, that's when we met. Is when
Yes.
it was Corey who produced that. Correct, Corey Pittman. Shout out Corey, produced that video, and he was the one who casted me in that as the cowboy.
Yeah.
And then it was all rodeo themed. It was at Rockin' Horse, which has the mechanical bull. That's a smart way. That's a smart way of marketing. B, that's a smart way of making people remember your brand.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's associated with. Like what you were saying. It's like the line is associated with the event that goes with it. It all kind of like falls into place.
It gives the clothing the context, and I think that like that event honestly is so funny because I think it did really well, and I think people saw that a lot of that content that hadn't seen the brand before, and they just think it's like a Western brand, which is like awesome. I think that's hilarious because it's not just that. That was just like one aspect. I actually just had watched this movie, and I was like, oh, that's so funny. It was like Urban Cowboy with John Travolta. Crazy movie, very like ridiculous concept. It's like he's like this hot cowboy that moves into town, and then there's like a bull riding competition, and in the end he wins the girl. Very like 80s movie vibes. But it was really funny, and I was like, that would be a really funny. And it was based off this old country bar in Texas that existed, and like they kept the branding in the movie. So that's kind of where the whole concept for the drop came out. And I used like a lot of their like posters and designs as like inspiration for like what I was doing with my flyers and stuff. And yeah, that's kind of like where the context and ideas for that event came. And then I was like, I gotta find a fucking mechanical bull.
Yeah.
And that was the only one in a bar in the GTA. The other ones were like you'd have to rent it and like drive it down from Mississauga, and it was $8,000 or something. And I was like, I'm good.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So lucked out.
I guess that's why Rockin' Horse is always so busy. There's always a huge line. It's because it's the only mechanical bull in the
It's
city.
the only
really.
one. The other one's in shout out to Liam again in Hamilton.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
there's a mechanical bull there.
That's Kit's hometown too. Kit's a Hamilton boy.
Producer 905.
I thought 905 was like Mississauga.
They're a bunch
or
of
Scarborough.
wannabes. No,
But what's the 905 basketball team?
that's in Toronto.
But is it not associated with Scarborough?
No,
I'm not the source on this.
no. Scarborough has their own team, Scarborough Shooting Stars,
Yeah, they have the hats.
but that's a different league.
Oh, so what's the 905ers?
It's like the Raptors development team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's G League.
I don't know where they're based though.
Okay. I'm not a local. I don't
I'll
know
write
these
this
things.
down in the notes.
Yeah,
so that,
please
like,
do. Yeah.
We'll check it out after.
Yeah. So you're from Halifax. You don't have like a Maritimer's accent.
No,
I noticed.
no, I don't. Halifax is pretty like doesn't really have that, but also at the same time, I have friends that definitely have like a strong Nova Scotia accent, and it kind of like, yeah. I never was someone who had it really strong, but depends how much you played hockey. I feel like.
Did you play hockey?
Oh, well, until I was like 11, and then I decided
really?
that was not for me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's early to stop, I think. But at least you knew that at 11. You had enough of a developed conscience at 11 years old to be like, I'm not gonna play hockey.
Yeah, I was like, why am I waking up and go at like? Because when you're young, the practices are so early.
Yeah.
I'm just waking up and it's freezing and skates are uncomfortable, and I was like, dude, I could just be at home sleeping and then play Minecraft like all day.
Are you a gamer?
I was
Yeah.
at the time. Yeah. Now I'm not, but I was.
Okay. You don't play Fortnite? I know the new Fortnite's back. I'm not a Fortnite
No,
guy.
you definitely got me there. I've been playing a little bit of Fortnite.
A little bit of Fortnite. This guy's playing
In our
Fortnite.
living room.
Kid's been playing Fortnite. Producer Kid has been staying up all night playing Fortnite.
With
Yeah,
Liam, friend of the program.
Yeah, in front of the program.
We're
Yeah.
in the pod.
Yeah, I think Liam's listening right now. Liam texted me. He said somebody turn up Parky Boy's mic.
Oh, am I talking too quiet? Should I
Maybe. I
really
think.
get in there?
Is it good now?
I feel like I've been like leaning away from the mic, which
Maybe,
probably
yeah.
hasn't been helping.
It could be. No, I think you're good now. So I want to touch back on the Halifax thing for one more second. And this is one question because my dad he's from out east. How do your parents, are both parents from Halifax, by the way?
Well, my dad's actually from PEI.
Okay.
And then my mom's from New Brunswick, Grand Falls.
Okay. How do they say car? Do they say car?
Yeah.
They say car. Yeah.
And I do too, to a certain, like, yeah, I definitely still say car like a little bit the regular way. But the longer I'm in Toronto, the less I say it like that. And then if I'm home for a bit, I kind of start saying it like back to, because like, when I was in res, I was just getting made fun of in first year. I was like, what? You guys don't say supper either. That one throws me off.
I say well, as opposed to what, like dinner?
Dinner.
Yeah.
I got that a lot.
Oh, okay.
Those are the only one.
Yes.
Those are the only two that I really got. But car was definitely one where they were like, "What the fuck? Why do you say it like that?"
Yeah. Every time my dad says it, he's from New Brunswick. I always make fun of him. And I have a coworker who also is from out east and says car, and we all make fun of her too. That's just how it goes.
Dude, it's tough out here. It's tough out here being a maritimer.
I guess so. It is beautiful out east, though.
Dude,
I've
it's
been
awesome.
since I was like 5, but I know it's nice. My grandma's out there, and she's getting old, so I should probably go.
You should probably tap in.
It's one of those, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like one of those, like, I'll come this summer, and then I'll come next summer. And then one day it's going to be like, I'll come oh, she's not.
Oh, yeah. No.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Definitely, like, want to get back there. Plus, like, it's a pretty fun place to visit, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good time. I definitely, it's definitely like a more, no. Very fun place to go out, but not as fun as Toronto, but still very fun.
I didn't know that there was nightlife there.
In Halifax, yeah.
Really?
It's really fun.
Can you compare it to the nightlife in Toronto?
It's so dramatically different. Like, I think a good example is like guest list is just not a thing there. Like, no one's heard of guest list.
Oh, really? It's just like, come on in?
Yeah, there's like one guest list at this place called Boomers, but it's like I don't remember what they call it, but it's like it's not guest list. It's like Boomers Premium, and it's just like just attractive women.
Oh, it's not like a boomers
It's
only.
a general like you get Boomers like member. I don't remember what the name is, but it's so funny. It's like you get a membership basically,
Do you have
and
to?
the bouncers like know who the girls are.
Oh,
And
really?
they girls all get a +1. That's like the list, and then they get to skip the line.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a shitty place, but it's
Yeah.
fun when you're 18,
That's
19.
good. There's no skipping lines over here.
No. There's but yeah, no guest list there.
Okay,
So that's
cool.
fun. Everyone just waits in line.
And your family's all still out there, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone's still out there.
Do you have siblings? Sorry, I'm just.
I do. No, it's I have a little brother. He's kind of like the opposite of me. He plays hockey. He goes to St. FX. He's hilarious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard that's a ridiculous school for partying. Like, there's the nightlife, St. FX, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They have fun. Yeah. He just he's been sending me a few videos of some recent parties they've been having, and I think they've definitely been having fun. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll need to visit at least once before he graduates, but
Okay, cool.
yeah.
So your dad used to DJ at this nightclub that burned down. That might be an apartment complex now that we're not sure.
Yes, definitely is an apartment complex now.
And you also DJ. I know that.
Yes.
I've been to a few of your sets.
Heard a few train wrecks.
No, not train wrecks at all. Actually, it's pretty impressive. I feel like everybody and their grandmother's a DJ now, but I respect the people who are able to actually like, oh, I want to DJ, and then get all the equipment, and then they actually like do it and figure it out and start getting gigs. Did your dad teach you, or did you
Yeah.
just kind of pick it up naturally?
Yeah, so he I got a turntable or not a turntable, like a controller when I was 14, I think. So it would have been like 2016. Yeah, and for Christmas, and it was this Newmark NS6, which I still have here in my room, even though they like stopped updating the firmware, so I can barely use it, even though it works fine. But which is I could talk about that all day. It makes me so mad. But yeah, so he taught me kind of how to DJ, but like initially, which was like fun. And then I was doing like high school dances and stuff in Halifax, where we'd like bring out all the equipment, and my dad would like drive me down, and we'd have the speakers and the lights, and like there was so much. It was so funny. It was so ridiculous. Like we'd bring all these huge lights and fog machines into like high school gyms and like play NLE Choppa, and everyone would be like, "Let's go!" It was crazy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Dude, I went to a Catholic high school, and we had dances as well. So if they were playing NLE Choppa, the dance would be shut down. Like if it was, and this was back in like probably like 2013, 2014. If they weren't playing like strictly Pitbull or any other artist that was
Yeah,
big
no.
at that time, Tayo Cruz,
Wow.
it was being shut down.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
Pitbull still is like I DJ'd the other like 2 weeks ago, and it was like a York Law party, and Pitbull was the most requested artist by far.
Are you serious?
Swear to God. And that and Rich Baby Daddy by Drake.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Those two, Pitbull in general, and then Rich Baby Daddy.
Well, Rich Baby Daddy is it's a very
Banger.
catchy song.
Banger.
I could do Sexy Red's whole verse. I won't do it right
No,
now, but I could. For the sake of keeping this show on air, I'm not going to do it. But when we're off the air, I'll go bar for bar.
Yeah, no, I will. I can't wait to hear that happen in real life. That's gonna be something to remember.
So you have so many things that you do. Like there's so many things going on, I feel like, and you're also a student full time in your graduating year, correct?
Yes, yeah, graduating this year.
How do you find being able to balance everything that you're doing? Because I have a very hard time. So what's your process like in terms of balancing your personal projects, future aspirations, schoolwork, a social life? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
how is it for you?
Dude, it sucks. I have no idea how to do it. Excuse me. I think I'm just like oftentimes flying by the seat of my pants, and I'm like, I don't know what to do next, or like what the priority is, and oftentimes I find like my different avenues like will overlap that I'm working on. So it's like I'll be working on one thing and I'll have an idea, like a school project, and then I'll have an idea that I could do with Secretaries or with other like stuff that I work on. So it's like I think one thing that's been helpful is trying to like the night before like be like, okay, like what are the priorities for like tomorrow, and then like get better at time blocking and actually like being focused on one task at a time, because I think that's my problem is I jump around. And also like I think just being realistic with yourself and being like, yo, like you can't do everything, because if you do everything you're going to do them all okay. But if you prioritize one or two things, then you're going to do those really, really well. And the other things will lack a bit, but that's okay because you made the choice.
Right.
So, yeah. And I still haven't really made the choice yet. But, like, I definitely think, yeah, still figuring that out, to be honest. But, yeah.
In terms of making a choice, like making a choice of what is, like, your baby?
Yeah, what's going to be my focus? I think, like, it's always going to be Secretaries.
Right.
But I think I'm a big believer in Secretaries is awesome, but it's like a long-term play for me just because like running a clothing brand is so not profitable for so long that like, and it takes so much work to build up a brand that like people love as much or more than you do. And like that is like, that's one of the hardest things you can do, because you basically have to break into a world where there's already so much clothing out there and so many brands. And it's like, okay, like what's my voice? And like, why are these people going to love this brand as much as I love this brand? So I think trying to do that right now, right out of school all the time is going to be, that's a lot of pressure to put on a brand that is almost like I think people, I've heard the expression or the comparison that brands are like a little kid. Mm-hmm. And like in human years, my brand is like, can't even, like my baby can barely crawl type situation. Yeah. So it's like, I think for me, what I want to do is like work on jobs and put myself in environments like after school that I can like make money in and like meet as many people as possible in, and like keep building the brand alongside that. Because I know if I can manage it now, if I just have like a job and then also Secretaries, I know I'll be able to like manage my energy and do both of those things. So like, yeah, I think it's about like delaying the gratification on like Secretary success for almost like as long as I can, and like pay my time into like the industry until that'll eventually pay off in the long run is kind of how I look at it.
Okay. So like in terms of at some point when you graduate, it's going to be very much like a building block kind of process where you have to have like your 9 to 5, but then Secretaries will be for a certain point the 5 to 9, and then eventually the goal is to make that. Yeah.
Because I think that like at the end of the day, like it'd be great if it was my 9 to 5 right away. That'd be fucking sick. But it's just not the reality. And I think that if I can put myself in a position from a career standpoint and like my actual 9 to 5 to where like the degree I have, creative industries serves like Secretaries and like will get me into roles that can be that 9 to 5, but also can speed run that network that you need to blow up a brand. Because I think that like if you work at a company that can give you like a bit more of like a bit more legit like a cosign you almost, like when I first started working for Adidas here in Toronto, I think like that was a great cosign for me. I could go into rooms and feel more comfortable about myself, and people would take me a bit more seriously.
Right.
So almost like I want to work at a 9 to 5 where it's almost like a cosign where it's like, okay, like this kid's kind of legit, like he's kind of knows what he's talking about. Because I don't know what I'm talking about, but he's someone that can be in this room, and I think then people start taking you seriously. Hopefully you can offer them something from that company you work at. So it's like, oh, I can give you some shoes, or because it's a real company and you're like, can sell them some shoes or whatever. And then that kind of builds a relationship. And then hopefully that relationship will serve Secretaries down the road, I think is how I look at it.
And I feel like at Adidas, you're learning from people who are proven experts in doing exactly what you were trying to do as well, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, those are the guys. They're the best. Like, yeah, I would not be doing any, like what I'm doing now if I didn't intern there. Like, yeah, at all.
How did you land that internship?
It's kind of funny. I just like was working at a restaurant, and then it happened to be a restaurant right by where the founder, like Nico, lives, one of the founders, and I was a host, so I like wore this stupid outfit and would stand at the front, and like all these like Liberty Village people would be like hammered and come up to me and be like, "Can I have a table for 6?" And I'm like, "Okay, sure." Yeah. And that was my job. But I would stand there, and I was like outside. So then I would see Nico and all the guys like walking down the street, and they'd be like headed to Adidas, and I was like, "What is this brand?" I was like, "This is sick." And then I met and then eventually like through my friends like Jack and Nick and a few other people, I got introduced to the brand like legitimately. And then just tried to start being around different events that they were doing and tried to like my friend Daniel brought me onto a shoot, and he was shooting BTS, and he was like, yeah, no, this kid is my assistant for my BTS photography. So he just gave me this like shitty little digital camera, and he was like, just take photos.
Yeah.
And then I would just go try to like go be at the pop-ups and stuff. And then long story short, they ended up needing a product photographer, which I did not know how to do. And then my friend Nick was like, who was already interning there, because he had gotten a graphic design internship and just design internship there a few months before, was like, oh, I have a friend who would be down to learn. And then Nico was like, for sure, like I'll just shoot him a test. So then Nico sent me this like product photo, just texted me and was like, oh, if you can edit this to look like this. And he sent me like what the finished photo should look like. And it was just the actual photo was terrible. It was like all wrinkled, and like he kind of purposely made it like a little bit fucked up and was like, if you can make this look like this, then and you have till Friday, like I'll give you a job.
Oh, really? That's really cool. So he gave you it like kind of like a little challenge.
Yeah, it was like a test. And like after I found out, he was like, yeah, like if you get above like a 6, like I'll hire you. But he didn't tell me that at the time. So I'm like shitting bricks, and I was like, it took me so long. I think I worked on it for like 20 hours. It was one photo. Because at that point, I barely knew how to use Photoshop. I was just like learning it.
Yeah.
And eventually like cobbled something together, and he was like, yeah, okay, like I'll give this like a I remember the text. It was so funny. He was like, yeah, so I'll give this like a 7. He was like, you probably could have done this, this, and this, and that. He was like, so how did you do this? And like once I explained the process, that I think was what he was like, good process. We'll figure the rest out when you come to the office. Then I started working there. Because especially like what he kind of was prioritizing was kind of the vibe of the company, because it's so small and the room is so small. Like they design around one table. Everyone's working at the same table. It's like at that point it was like every day it would be like 5 to 8 people. It's a pretty like intimate environment. So if like you're not on the same energy as the people you're working with, it's really hard to build a creative brand. So I think that even though I lacked in technical skills, I think that like I got along really well with everyone and kind of just fit in and like showed that I was willing to learn. And then Nico was willing to like teach me how to take product photos. And then from there it kind of snowballed. So yeah.
And now I guess you know how to take your own product photos of.
I do.
That's
yes.
really good.
But I still use their equipment because it's a great setup.
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And especially you have that in, so you're like, hey, can I come use the studio today?
Like, remember when I interned for you?
Yeah, for real. How long did that last for, the internship? You're not still doing it, are you?
Not really, no. And I want to be working out of that office more than I am now, because it's still fun to go in and like work out of that space, and they're always super open to that. And like I still try and help out and like talk to them when I can. But honestly, like this year's been like the least I've been able to help out, which sucked. But I did it full on, so this would have been not. Oh man, what are the timeline here? Like January 2022, pretty much until like through school last year until like early this 2023. Then I kind of faded out, and then started working on my internship that I was doing in the summer, which was like a different internship.
Yeah, that was in New York, right?
Yeah, that was in New York, which was cool. That was like the first real or not real. That was like an agency side, which was like a whole different perspective from a brand side, because you're serving a range of brands. And I honestly learned so much at that internship. I was like, wow, this is so cool, learning so much this summer. So, but the original one that kind of got me into everything was Adidem, and it kind of showed me like what's possible. And I like went to Europe with them for the first time, and like that was really cool. And just saw so much and how big you can go. And I was like, wow, this is so motivating. So yeah.
That's awesome. And then, so you travel with Adidem, and then speaking of traveling, going back to New York, I remember you telling me that New York was not as everybody expects it in terms of the fashion industry. Can you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah. I think that New York is like a heavily romanticized place, and I think that it's not the romanticized place that people think it is, but it is a place to go if you're on like a mission. Like I'm not someone who's like, oh, I'm gonna live in New York forever. It's like it's just probably not gonna be me. Also, I don't want to speak too soon. Like that might change.
Yeah, we could cut this part out. That's off
the
record.
Yeah. But I would live in New York for a while. I just think it's like you got to go with like a mission, because New York is like, I think someone put it as like a rich adult playground to me, and I was like, that's so super true, because like the fun, I also was only there for like 3 months, so it's like hard to fully speak on it, but like my experience was I'm there to work and like meet a lot of people, and like I went and did that, but I was like lifestyle wise, I don't know if New York is like permanently for me. just because it's tough. America can be tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it made me one thing I really grew to appreciate was the strength of like Toronto's creative community, because I was like, pretty much anyone I know in Toronto that's like really on their shit it stands up against anyone that I met in New York, just because like New York, especially younger, I don't know why, but I met like less younger artists there. I think maybe because it's so expensive.
Yeah, you kind of got to be a little bit older to be able to afford it, right?
Yeah, people who were there were like already pretty like established. But like, yeah, like I think that there's a lot of people doing amazing things here, and it made me like really appreciate Toronto more once I had left, which was cool.
Do you find it to be more competitive in the fashion scene in New York compared to Toronto? How do you see the scope of competition between both? This is kind of going to be kind of like two questions into one. I feel like the creative scene in Toronto is very supportive of each other. Does that compare to New York? Is it competitive there, or do they support each other, want to collaborate? What's the difference between the two there?
So I think, sorry, hit the mic. I think the main like difference with Toronto and New York is Toronto is like pretty open arms community. Like I would say if you really want to get active and be involved, like it's there for you to do. Like you might have to do a little bit of work to like find the people, but once you find those people, it's pretty open. I think that New York is a little more closed off, and I think that I don't know why that is, but I think my experience. I was also, again, only there for 3 months. I think New York is a harder nut to crack than Toronto, just because it's a way bigger city. Like it's harder to figure out the landscape,
like
and I think it takes a lot of. Yeah, I'm allergic to those actually.
Oh, great.
Yeah, but yeah, like I think New York is a city that takes time, and like I don't think I gave it enough time to like fully get out of it what I would hope to have gotten out of it. But I think I still met some like unreal people, and was really like happy with who I met. But yeah, I think that like New York's creative community is like it's a bit more insular, and maybe that's a byproduct of like it being more expensive there. Like so, there's more competitiveness just for jobs. Like it's more competitive to get jobs, and then yeah, I think also like there's probably so many people that move out to New York like wide-eyed and bushy-tailed, and like the more like jaded creative community, like and doesn't want those people around. I don't know, but yeah, I think that like moral of the story is Toronto's creative community more open, really exciting. New York's creative community also exciting, harder to find and to infiltrate. Or not infiltrate is maybe the wrong word, but become a part of.
Yeah, get your foot in.
Get your foot in the door. Yeah.
Who's waving? Oh, it's Adrian. Hey, Adrian. And that's Drew with the V. What? It is. I know. You see stickers on the...
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The boy.
That's funny.
He just, sold a bunch of hoodies.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. The purple hoodies. Did you get one?
I didn't. I missed out. But next time.
Yeah. Maybe when he does like a teal hoodie.
Yeah, that's your bag, teal hoodie.
Apparently, actually, it's really not. I had a teal BMX when I was like 11, and I had a teal BMX when I was 11. I love that bike to death, and I was riding it down the street one day, and part of the what's it called when you put your feet up? The pedal. Part of the pedal like cut off, so it was very sharp, and. This is a funny story. I think it's funny, at least. I don't care about any of this. I was biking, and you know when you there's the speed. It tells you the speed when you drive by.
Yeah.
I was biking, trying to like hit a fast speed on the speed monitor thing, and I went to brake. You know when you brake, you had to like pedal back.
Yes.
Like to stop the bike. So I went to go back, and my foot missed, and I cut all up my calf.
Oh.
And I was like, I was bleeding a lot. I still have a scar to this day. I'm convinced I needed stitches. My parents were like, a Band-Aid, 2 Band-Aids.
It's fine.
Yeah. And then...
body's born.
Oh, yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, just drink a glass of water. And then I rode that bike into my friend's pool one day. Shout out Logan and Alex. And that was the last I saw of it.
So it's just...
It's not still in the pool, but that was the last time. I was like, I'm done with this bike now.
Deep pool.
It hurt me. Yeah, deep pool, yeah. Yeah. Wow, that was a tangent.
No, that was awesome. I was with it. I was pretty like into the story, you know. I was like, there's a lot of gore at the end. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
thrilling.
I'm trying to expand my creativity, man. I'm trying to get more into the horror stuff, so I'm gonna do a murder mystery about a broken BMX pedal one day, probably.
Yeah, no, I think I would tune into a Sam Bird murder mystery show. Yeah,
Yeah, Kit's gonna be the protagonist. He's gonna get murdered. Sorry, Kit.
yeah.
That's crazy.
I want to touch on your modeling a little bit
Okay.
because I noticed one of your pinned posts on your Instagram is featured in Vogue. It's a Vogue. You did a Vogue runway, correct?
Yeah, so it was for a brand called Reese Cooper.
Yes, I saw
he's a
that on your
designer.
website.
So, yes. Yeah. So he, he's a great designer, super nice dude. I ended up getting to meet him, which was cool. And then it was kind of full circle because this summer when I was doing the internship, we worked with his brand. So I was like, that was funny. I was like emailing him. He was like, yeah, it was funny. And then, yeah, so I guess I did that runway. But it was funny how that happened because we were going. So originally, I was with Adidas. We were all going as like as a brand, and we were gonna do an event. And then the event ended up like not happening that time. But it was like we still all went, which was super fun.
Yeah.
And like a bunch of my homies from Toronto, we all went up, and it was so funny. So we got this like Airbnb. And it was like all kids kind of around my age or our age. And they like, so you get this Airbnb and it was like 3 beds, but I think there was 9 of us staying there. So like,
yeah, that doesn't add up.
yeah, it was, because Paris was so fucking expensive.
Yeah.
So I remember I was set up on the floor. I had a nice like setup and like, yeah, it was just like kind of a gong show. So we go to Paris and then I had been working in Montreal for June. So like the other guys had gone to London and then they were meeting me in Paris. So
Okay.
like we were meeting in Paris. So then my flight is like earlier in the day. So I land like early morning, like 5 or 6 in the morning. And then the guys don't land until like 4 p.m. or 3 p.m. or something. So then there's only one guy that I knew. He was this kid from Montreal named Calvin, who is awesome. And he's a model. So, but he's like fully signed out there. So basically the way modeling works, if people don't know, is basically you have a mother agent in whatever home city you're in. And then
Okay.
if you want to work in another city, you basically need an agency in that city or country. That would manage your bookings in that country, and then they each would, like, you basically lose the same 20%, but then they split the 20% of your rate,
Okay.
and you only pay the agency once you get booked.
Oh, that's
Anyways,
okay.
so
Okay.
he was a French citizen as well, so he had like an agency there and stuff. But he lives in Montreal, really great artist, super nice guy.
Shout out Calvin.
Shout out Calvin.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh, like let's link up. I was like, for sure. So we link up around Paris, and he knew some people there, and like so then he was like, I'm going to castings today. So the way that like Fashion Week works is like the few days before Fashion Week starts, usually it's like within the 2 weeks before. I don't know if it's that long, but a lot of brands will do their castings. So all the models go like a week or 2 early, and then they go to the brand castings, and you kind of wait in line with a bunch of guys who are like way more like super handsome, and you're kind of just standing there like a little bit like, whoa.
I feel like that's very intimidating.
Oh my goodness. It was funny too because you could always tell which guys were Rick Owens models because they looked out of otherworldly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it was hilarious. And everyone's like has the same toe. It's really funny.
Everybody's
like,
doing the
environment.
model face, sucking their cheeks in.
Yeah, they're like in line. No, the line's actually like really funny because
Hey,
everyone's
what's
just
your
kind of
name?
like chilling. And, like half the people are like mad normal. They're not even really into fashion. They just like got scouted to be a model. They're not
Okay.
even really like vibe. They're just there to hang out. And anyways, so I'm following him to these castings, and then like eventually we get to Reese Cooper, and because we had been talking on the walk, like, oh, like who do you want to see this week? And we were like, oh, it'd be fun to go to see Reese Cooper's show. And then like his agent texted him, was like, can you go to the Reese Cooper casting right now? And then we were like, oh shit. So then we go to the Reese Cooper casting, and I'm like standing there, and I was like, I wonder if I can just get in line. Like they're not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
And then after like much back and forth, and maybe like a slight stop at a bar for a beer for courage.
Maybe. Perhaps.
Maybe.
Yeah.
No one's, it's fine.
I mean,
it's Paris.
Yeah.
You can drink.
Yeah. Ben we.
Yeah, we. So then after a beer, we get in line and then just stand in line. And then they like, you go in, you sit down, and then they take you upstairs. And then upstairs, it was like a full, like they were still sewing stuff for the show. They have like everyone's up there. All the clothes are up there. It was crazy. I was like, oh, this is like a movie, which is really funny. And then they had like the casting agency was like sitting, people doing the casting were sitting at a table on one end. And then the models who got called upstairs would like walk back and forth and like do their walk. But
That's so
when
intimidating.
so when you walk in, and like Reese Cooper was there and like his whole team, and like I just knew who they were.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, this is so cool. So then you have to go up and like sign a form that is like your name and then your agency. So
Oh,
I was like,
you didn't
I
have
was
an
like,
agency.
oh, okay. So I just wrote my Toronto one because I had one in Toronto, but it didn't really
not
like you
a-
can't really work. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I was like, and then this British guy like pipes up. I think he was British. Yeah, Anton. He was like, hey man, what agency is that? Because he was like, we don't work with that agency, and I was like, oh, like it's a Toronto one, like. I'm still looking for one here. Like I just lied. I was like, yeah, I'm in talks with a few different ones here. And he was like, oh, where? Like which ones? I was like, oh, like.
I
was like,
framboise.
Yeah, I was like just random French names.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then he didn't let me answer, and he was like, it's fine, just do your walk. So I like go and like stand off to the side, and then I watch a few people do it, and then I go to do it. And I was like, okay, thanks for your time, guys. And then I'm like walking out, and then he stops me, and he's like, oh, like what's your Instagram? And then eventually I ended up getting to walk, which was like hilarious. So like me, and then when I was there, I dropped the pin of where it was, the casting, because it's not like that public information. So I dropped it because once I realized that they were not like strict on signed models, I like sent it to my group chat because by then all the guys had landed, and I was like, if you guys want to come do this casting, like, and then a few of us ended up getting to walk. So 3 of us got to walk.
That's so cool.
Which was super fun. Yeah.
Do you still like send it to like your ugly friends?
Yeah, I just stunned on them. No, I don't have ugly friends. Okay.
That's great. Shout out Liam. I know he's gassed up for that right now. Speaking of Liam, I sent Liam a text earlier today. He knew you were coming on today, I think. And I asked Liam, I said, hey, I want to do this little thing where I want to see how well you know Parker. So what I did was I asked Liam to give me some of I was like, what's his favorite this, and that? So,
Oh Lord.
So I gave him a few options, and he gave me a list. And I'm still trying to figure out how I want to do this. If I want to do Liam said this, or if I want you to say this is the answer, and then I tell you what Liam says.
Okay.
Kit, you decide.
I think Parker should give his answer first.
Okay, that's what we'll do. And then right after you say your answer, I'll tell you what Liam said.
Okay.
Okay. So your favorite food?
I'm trying to think what he would have said.
It's quite sweet what he said. It seems like there's some thought into it.
There's some thought.
A little bit, yeah.
Man. Dude, I think my favorite food is pepperoni pizza, but I'm really curious what he said.
Okay. Liam, and he's not just like one word answers. He's like, dear Sam. He started off. He's like, in terms of homemade, a good old pasta with tomato sauce and nothing else. Then make way too much and have leftovers for 2 days.
Yeah, that's real.
Accurate.
That's real.
I feel like pepperoni pizza, and pasta are. It's like the
Adjacent.
same.
Yeah, same like same Italian.
Yeah.
Italian cuisine.
You know.
Yeah, no, I just keep it simple. I think that speaking of priorities earlier on the podcast, I think that like what I eat is like pretty low. As long as I'm fed, I'm pretty like.
Yeah.
I'm good with it and fueled up and ready to go, so I don't really put much time. I try not to put much time in the cooking.
That's good. Well, I mean, also, I feel like agencies kind of tell you, like, hey, don't eat for the next 3 days, right?
Yeah. They're just like, yeah. The funny is they'll be like, yeah, so no water tonight. What?
Are you serious?
Well, sometimes.
My God.
I always drink water and sometimes other things too before, but
Yeah, maybe a beer. I've told myself, I'm like, oh, I kind of want to get into modeling. And then I'm like, I really want a piece of red velvet cake.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not going to do it then.
yeah, no,
Okay. And what was the next one? I think, how did I word it? Well, we kind of touched on this before, but I asked Liam, your favorite place to drop in Fortnite.
Oh man, he's gonna say Tilted Towers.
Yeah, he said Tilted because he thinks he's nice. Is this true? Do you think you're good at Fortnite?
I don't think I'm good, but I tell Liam that I'm good, just so that like it's a little bit of like in apartment rivalry. I like to keep things like.
Does he?
I like to live in a tense living situation.
Oh, okay. Does he ever like let you play with him, and join teams? How does it work, Kit? Are you on teams? How does it work?
You can play squads, but you need 2 different consoles.
Yeah, and we only have the one. So what we do is we all sit around, the 4 of us sometimes, and we just rotate.
Oh, like when
who's
someone
playing.
dies?
When someone dies, yeah.
Oh, I used to do it with my brother all the time. We were playing GTA, but if you know my brother, you know that if he dies, he's playing again.
Yeah, he's running it back. He's running it back. Are you younger?
I'm older.
Wow, and he was running the show.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. And we used to play video games with my sister when she was very young. I'd say like 6 or 7. I used to play like NHL, or Chell as they call it. I don't know. And we had like we had 3 remotes. One was always dead, consistently dead. So I would play like with my one friend, and then we'd give my sister the dead remote. and we just let her think that she was playing.
Yeah.
We'd like gas her
Wow.
up. We'd be like, "Oh my God, nice goal!" And she was like going crazy. And we never told her that it was a dead remote. And I know she's not listening, so she's never gonna know
She's
that.
never gonna know.
No,
you,
so-
you could. Wow, so this is breaking news.
Yeah, this is breaking news.
That's awesome.
But Ali, if you're listening,
Sorry about it.
sorry, yeah,
Sorry about it.
sorry about that. I asked Liam your favorite artist. Who's your favorite artist?
Like music artist?
Music artist, yeah.
I bet you he's Playboy Cardi.
Okay,
Let's go.
is that your favorite too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, nice. No, he said Ice Spice, and then he said he refers to himself as a munch.
That's great.
Also, he said Parker is also an undercover. No, he also undercover still listens to Lil Pump. Is this true?
No.
So, hey,
But,
this
like-
is a safe space, Parker.
Yeah, like I think Lil Pump had a few like early like bangers. Like when let's
He
keep
did.
it real. Like there was a couple. The first one, oh man, what was
Gucci
it?
Gang.
D Rose.
D Rose.
D Rose,
D Rose
yeah.
was crazy. D Rose. And then yeah, Ice Spice is fire though. I'm super big fan.
Oh yeah,
I'm definitely.
I'm a huge munch.
I'm not gonna go on the record and say that I'm a munch,
Oh,
but
me
like
neither.
people can read between the lines.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, I'm a capital M munch.
Okay, I respect
Absolutely,
it.
yeah, and I'll say it.
I respect the courage to like really indoor yeah.
Absolutely, and whatever Dua Lipa's like little group term is, I'm that too.
Yeah, I definitely
I'm a leaper.
fire.
Did I just make that?
Yeah, I wonder what she calls her fans. I'll write that down
Yeah.
in the notebook.
Please. Yeah. At 5:51, Sam said he said, "What's the Dua Lipa term?" I asked Liam your favorite vacation spot. He kind of gave two answers, but what's your answer? Wait, is that what we're doing? Parker's first, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Favorite vacation spot? Oh my god. Like
It could be vacation, it could be travel, it could be anything else.
I mean, Paris was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then Halifax is always fun to go back to.
That's crazy. That's 2 for 2 right there.
Really?
He said Paris cause clothes or going back home cause bro loves Halifax.
Yeah, real.
Damn, looks
Yeah,
like he knows
let's
you.
go.
He knows you. There, he got one
Yeah,
out of
that's
them.
good, that's
One of them
good.
right so far. And then I feel like this is a given. Favorite clothing company.
Secretaries.
Yeah, no hesitation. That's what he said as well.
Come on, best brand in the world.
Yeah, he said Secretaries, and then all time. I don't know. I can't understand his grammar here. All time money, no object. Probably like Bottega Veneta.
Oh yeah,
Vendetta?
if I had infinite money, my closet would be Bottega and Acne Studios.
Oh, I like Acne Studios.
Yeah, great.
I always found the name a bit weird, you know.
Yeah, it throws people off for sure.
But I feel like that's part of it.
Yeah, no, definitely part of the appeal. I feel like luxury should feel a little bit like different. It's like, oh, it's a little bit like
Yeah.
avant-garde, different.
What are some like those big red boots?
Mischief, yeah.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. It's like they're like a art group. They're not really a clothing company. So they do
okay.
like art statements, but it's also like how many statements can you make on consumerism where you make a bunch of money off of it before it stops becoming art and starts becoming just like a company profiting off of, I don't even know, just shitty fashion. But
Would you say those boots were successful? The company was successful? in
yeah,
those?
they sold like they definitely were successful. And they've done other like art projects that are pretty funny. Like I think they were the one that did that car where where
the car at the bar?
it was like one key, but like anyone, I don't remember how it worked, but basically a bunch of people could unlock the car and drive it. So they just left it, they let it go in New York, and like a bunch of people who had the app could like unlock the car and drive it, and it was
that's
like
so
one
fun.
car. Yeah, they had this whole like art thing. That was cool. I remember seeing that, and they've done a few other things. They did these like, yeah, they do. So they did a collab with, I think it was them that did the Lil Nas X shoe that got like, and people were like, oh, he's a devil worshiper.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Twitter
is
Twitter did not like. Sorry,
ridiculous.
X did not like that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, real X people liked it though.
Yeah, true. If you put Twitter in your search bar, it'll still like, it'll take you right to.
Yeah, fuck X. I'm not
Yeah.
calling it that.
All my homies hate X.
Yeah, Twitter.
But not XXX Tentacion. Do you remember where you were when he died?
No. I feel like I have no idea. But like I don't know, like the rest in peace.
Do you, Kit? I remember where I was. I was eating a tuna melt with sweet potato fries.
No clue.
I asked you today, what did I said, do you remember where you were when this person died? Who was it? It was like literally on our walk to school. Do you remember?
I thought it was X.
Nah.
The only person I remember where I was where was Kobe. That was the only person I remember where I was
Yeah,
where he
yeah,
died.
yeah.
because I was at volleyball practice. And I thought
Really?
my coach was like, I don't know, playing like weird mind games. I was like, dude, what the fuck?
Coach, this isn't gonna get us ready for this weekend. Why are you doing this?
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah.
I was on the toilet.
Damn.
I didn't need to say that. Yeah, I sit to pee. What about it? Okay, I also asked Liam, who's your favorite roommate?
Wow, that's crazy. After this, I think it changes every week. This week's favorite roommate is Liam because we were vibing this weekend.
There we go. He said that's a layup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
So, wow, he 3 for 5. See,
Like, pretty good.
he knows you 60%.
And he was right about the pasta. It's not my favorite food, but it's definitely that's my most cooked meal.
Yeah, it's so easy. It's so convenient.
It's out of pocket.
Yeah.
I really should maybe like. No, I'm allowing it. I'm cozy. Yeah. Fuck it. Pasta every day. It's so easy.
Yeah, well, you'll carb up in that sense.
Where was your
Yeah.
favorite place to land in Fortnite?
Tilted.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, so maybe he was...
He might have been 4 for 5.
Oh, my... No, he got... Because he said Ice Spice. No, so he was 4 for 6.
Yeah. Also, like Ice Spice, like that's hilarious. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm giving him a half a point on that. 4.5 out of 6.
Munch. Kit wanted me to touch on this. I heard you play intramural basketball.
Oh yeah, we have a good squad this year. You know. Yeah.
And you're in the playoffs.
Somehow, not somehow. It's because we have Owen and Ian.
Liam's calling me, so...
Ian's calling into the show.
we're going to put him live on here. Hello? Wait, hold on. What?
Yo, 3 for 5, but just know I got 2 for 2 on 2 of the questions that were only worth 1 mark. So with bonus marks, I got like 5 for 5.
No, I think technically that makes you 5 for 6.
No, because I got marks that didn't even exist.
Oh,
This is my show, bro. You got...
Didn't exist, dude. It was a 1 mark question, and I got Paris and Halifax, and I got Secretaries and Bottega. 100%.
Wait, you might have like 110% then.
Oh God, I want that on the record.
Say it.
Oh, you're answering right now. Wait, hold up. What?
Oh God.
Oh, are you watching the stream right now?
Yeah, I'm watching the stream.
Why are you watching? You're more live just being... Yeah, you're crazy. Okay, I'm gonna hang up now.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Electric call in
That's
from
crazy.
Liam. Wow. He's a big part of our intramural team too. You know, Liam's definitely like a guy who can come alive.
Yeah.
Randomly from 3.
Owen carries the squad.
Yeah, Owen and Ian. Owen, I think one game. This is a pretty good example. Owen dropped. I think we had 49 points as a squad, and Owen had 44. And this kid Jack had 5 points. He hit the most egregious, like insane 3-point, like mad confident. Just came out, just whopped a 3. It was awesome.
For Jack.
Yeah, no, definitely. Jack's definitely heart of the team.
Good. We have 2 minutes left here, Parker. Can you sum up in 1 minute where you see Secretaries 5 years from now?
Secretaries 5 years from now is going to be a physical place. It's going to be a bar or a club. Hopefully, I'm thinking dance bar, like bar upstairs, club downstairs, and that's able to bring in like really fun house DJs and dance DJs into Toronto. And I think from a clothing perspective, like I'd like to be able to have the brand everywhere and just see it when I'm walking down the street, being like, that's pretty cool. And then from a events perspective, like have my own venue and like putting on like big events. I know it's like kind of broad, but like one goal I have this year is bringing in DJs from other cities and kind of running like dance nightlife events, because I think that Toronto could go for more like house music and like dance music functions. And yeah, so those are kind of like, I guess some of my big goals is like seeing it everywhere, seeing the brand everywhere, and getting like 1 million orders would be cool.
That's
and then having like a physical Secretaries bar and club here, because that's a very like full circle moment. And then I want to have my dad DJ the inaugural party at the new
That's crazy.
club.
That's full octagon right there.
Yeah, come on,
Forget a full circle, bro. That's full octagon.
new shape.
Have you seen Secretaries in the street? Like, you know what I mean? Like, have you seen someone wearing it yet?
No, never. I've definitely like worn it a bit in Halifax and gotten like a few looks from like people who would be like in their 50s, like my dad's age, who are like, that name rings a bell.
Yeah.
Because I had to like go and search for the name. I did a bunch of research on like, there's like a Facebook group, and it's like old bars and clubs in Halifax, and it's all like people being like, oh, I went to this spot in this year, and like, yeah, there's a video online of the old club too.
Very cool. Well, when you open the spot, we'll be there on opening day when
Hell
you're
yeah.
cutting the ribbon. Parker, thank you so much for coming on today, man. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime. We will see you next week on Birdcore. I'm Sam Bird. That's Kit Corsini. He said more today, and we're proud of him, and we love him.
Let's go.
Parker, thank you again. We will see you next week, everybody.
Later.
It's like a dream of mine to completely blow out and like have to restructure my knee.
We've communicated and said, you know what? Lion tastes good. Let's go get some more lion.
Cindy? The TV's leaking.
McLovin?
Yeah. Today is Thomas Cup's birthday, and this is Project X. Yo.